Hi, I'm Kathy Sustachek from Rasmussen Diamonds.
And I'm Bill Sustachek.
We're here to kind of tell you the history because we're the old guys. Rasmussen Diamonds started in 1900 at 910 State Street here in Racine. It was founded by Mr. R.P. Rasmussen, and he was a carriage trade. He did a great job, and the store grew, and his son eventually took it over. Frank Rasmussen took it over. And somewhere in the 1960s, Frank moved all of our beautiful antique cases and the store to 3119 Washington Avenue.
Which at that time was called West Racine, which is not really West anymore, but it was, they were doing a very, very good job there. And in the early 70s, my father, Calvin Sustachek, was doing all the watch repair work. He did watch repair work for just about anybody here in Racine, any of the jewelers here in Racine, plus Milwaukee and Kenosha. And he did repair work for Frank Rasmussen in West Racine. And Frank would sometimes say to Cal, "Hey Cal, you want to buy a jewelry store?" Usually when he had an irate customer or a bad day or something. And my dad said, "Hey, when you're really ready to sell the business, you give me a call." I went to school to be a gemologist, and in 1976 I was managing a jewelry store in Milwaukee, and my parents decided that they were going to buy Rasmussen jewelry.
On the condition that Bill would manage it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they asked me if I would manage the store for them. And in 1977 we took over, actually April Fool's Day 1977, and we took over the business and I started running it. 5 months after we started the business, my father took a job with the Bulova Watch Company. He was traveling around the western half of the United States teaching watchmakers how to repair the new quartz watches. And they did that for about 5 years while I kept on running the business and growing the business. And in 1988, Kathy and I bought the business from my parents. Actually, at that time, I think we almost tripled their investment in 11 years, which is pretty cool.
Good growth. It was good growth. Lots of hard work, lots of hours. And I remember our kids sometimes saying, "Don't talk about work tonight, don't talk about work." But it was successful. And so as we continued to grow, we could see that we definitely had to leave the location that we were in. We were sharing desks in the back room and pull out parts, and it just was so crowded. And our guests, when they came in, they had to kind of work their way around each other in the store. So Bill started to look for a new location, which was quite a journey in itself.
Yeah, I looked back in my records and I had 17 different places that we were planning on moving this store to. And I'm not talking about, oh, that'd be nice to over there or something. I'm talking about a lease was ready to sign, or or we were going to purchase an entire shopping center or a huge building, and it just became something that I was obsessed with. But every time, it just didn't work out.
Something happened where it didn't work.
Didn't work, you know. And the Lord was always watching over us, saying, and so I said, "Lord, I put it in your hands. When it's time, it'll be time." And then one day, my sister said to me, she said, "I can't get my corned beef round." When I walked into the store in West Racine, and I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "Oh yeah, this PDQ out there on the corner of Emerson and Washington.
It's closed."
Yeah.
She said it's closed.
It's closed, and I can't get my corned beef round anymore. And I said, "You're worried about your corned beef round, and you didn't tell me that place was closed?" So I came flying out.
You kind of were confused. You said, "Well, go tomorrow." And she said, "No, Bill, it's closed permanent." Yeah. Then you went flying out.
I went flying out the door, and I came over here, and I was looking inside. Nobody was here. I came the next day, and I found somebody here, and I said, "Are you renting this out?" And they said yes, they were going to rent it to the guy that did the butchering here. But that guy wasn't anywhere to be found. I guess he took a little vacation or something or other. I don't know. But I said, hey, why don't you look into putting the finest jewelry store in Racine in here? And the owner of this complex said, okay, we'll do that. And so we decided to start building, and we went from a gutted building to open in 6 weeks, which is like unbelievable. I actually had to,
hard.
Yeah, we worked.
Actually, he didn't come to the store anymore. The rest of us that were at 3119 Washington, we ran the store while packing up the boxes and everything in the background, and he was gone. He was here every day doing stuff on the electrical, doing things on the carpentry, and
alarm system,
yeah.
and the security system, and the cameras, and the sound system.
He contracted it all.
Yeah,
Boy, he was on top of everybody to make sure it was done timely.
Yeah. And that's the reason we were able to do it in 6 weeks. And I actually had to look back at my records to make sure that that's what it was, but it was 6 weeks. And it was a real cool journey, it really was.
We have an album put together, a photographic journey of the weekend of Memorial Day. And all of us on staff here doing the finishing up, varnishing, and all the finishing touches. And the grandfather's clock arrived, and everybody was excited. And Dad put the grandfather's clock together. And at that time, we didn't have this partial horseshoe built. That came a few weeks later. But all of us were so thoroughly exhausted and filthy, but so happy. It was just such a happy time. Bill and Christy started doing the polka in this area, right here, just dancing. But you can see in all the pictures the total exhaustion on our faces, but also the excitement. So it was,
and that was in 1998, and when we opened up, we weren't supposed to open up because the inspector was supposed to come and tell us when we were supposed to open, but we already had the jewelry in the cases.
Well, the door wasn't unlocked yet.
Yeah,
but he came through, and
everything passed. And the owner of this complex came in, and he saw what we did here, and he says, "Oh my God, this is way more beautiful than what PDQ was when it was here." So it was kind of a cool move.
So business grew there, and there were the ups and the downs along with the economy and stuff like that. But as we fast forward, this past November, the store was sold to Christy and Daniel.
Yeah, our daughter and son-in-law. And
the polka girl.
Yeah, the polka girl. Yes, we were supposed to do it in 2019. But the attorneys didn't have all the paperwork together, so we said, well, we'll do it the first part of 2020, and then of course COVID hit, and I said, there's no way that if there's going to be a downturn in our business, it's going to be on our dime, not on their dime. So we held off, and they kept on growing the business, and it started doing really, really well again, and that's when we decided that last November of 2021, we sold the business to Christy and Daniel.
And Bill's not around too much anymore. You're lucky if you find him here. But I'm not done working. I am now an employee of Rasmussen Diamonds.
Yeah, well, she doesn't have to worry about paying the bills, and
I just get to do the pleasurable things, waiting on our guests and inviting all the people that have been here before and all the new people that are coming.
And I come in when it's raining out and I can't go golfing.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. So this is where the business has come to, and we're very, very, very proud of Christy and Daniel and where they are taking it right now.
It's always fun to reminisce about the history of Rasmussen Diamonds, but we always look forward to the future, and we look forward to seeing more and more of our guests, new guests and old, as we continue on in this journey.